There you are. Now you're connected into audio. How are you, Liz?
Good. How are you?
I am good. All right. Today, I would love to dig into a thing that I learned when I did the Success Coach training. And I'm going to preface it before I dig in. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it with one person, whoever a brave volunteer is. And everything else that we talk about, train, coach, teach, all of that, change the verbiage. Once you understand how a script works and how things work, change it and make it your own. As long as you know the points that you need to hit in it and the why behind how that particular script is designed, and you understand that. Like, for instance, Gary's letter. Gary's little tiny letter that he sends out has the word you. I don't know what he counted, 21 times or something like that. Who knows? Once you understand the science behind that there's a couple of embedded commands and it purposely has the word you because it's a cold call letter, then you can change it because you understand the science behind it and you know to put a bunch of yous in there. So I didn't know that trick before he taught me that trick, and I use it all the time now. If I have to put together an email with a group and I need to get the group on board, I make sure and I need them to all do something. I make sure there's you, your all throughout there. So, but this thing that I'm teaching you, I'm going to teach you or go through today, you can't change any words. You can't change one. Even if it sounds clunky or feels weird, you can't change it. And the reason why this particular thing works on your subconscious brain, it doesn't work on your conscious brain. So your subconscious brain has something like 2.1, God knows what, million bits of information coming at it every single second. It's constant. It's literally constant. It's in my world, it's what's going on back and behind me. It's you guys, it's the light, it's the grass, it's the 14 lizards that are always crawling around that jump on my window that scare the hell out of me on a regular basis. It's the bicycle going by and the person walking their dog and, sunshine and everything else that's going on. It's constant. But our brain, our conscious brain, this part up in here can only handle 126 bits of information per second. There's massive going on that this part up here is not really aware of. Even things like our breath. I mean, we don't think about it. Hopefully, our body just does it. Stuff's going on subconsciously. This works on the subconscious. So when I first saw this, I was blown away. And without going too much further, I would just like to dig in. Before I dig in a little bit of tech, does everybody here, I need the one who wants to volunteer, I need them on camera because the rest of you, I just want you to really, really watch. I don't want you to pay as much attention to the words I'm saying. I want you to watch the person, because I am going to, the person that volunteers is not going to tell us what the situation is. And since we're all girls, are not going to answer any of the questions verbally at all. But we're going to watch them because we're going to be able to tell from their body language and their eyes and everything else when it's time to ask the next question. And I want you guys to see that so that you can read it also. So the person needs to be on camera. Don't worry so much about the questions. You don't want to anyway. You want them to kind of wash away so that you can share this with somebody else and they can do it with you and watch you and help you with it also. So technical. Does everybody here know how to pin the speaker on Zoom? You do. Kathy, do you know how to pin?
I'm not sure I do.
Okay.
I know I've seen it before.
Okay. So we're going to pin. Laura's a yes too. Perfect. Liz is a yes. Okay. So for you, when you hover your mouse over someone's face, well, I should ask you right now, do you see 5 boxes or just me talking?
I have it set so that the view is that I see 4 boxes and I see the other screen.
Okay, perfect. All right. So take your mouse and hover over any one of us. And in my world, you have a PC, don't you? Not a Mac?
Yeah.
Who's got a PC? Because in my world, if I hover over the screen, I've got a little tiny blue box in the upper right-hand corner that appears with 3 dots.
Can I ask what you want it to happen?
Yes, I want to happen where, so let's say it's Liz or Bree or you. I want that person to be big on the screen. I want you to
Okay.
only see them
All right, so if I do speaker view,
because they're not going to be talking. I'm going to be talking. You'll just have me.
okay.
So that's why I want you to pin. So, who has a Mac that can tell her how to, not a Mac, who has one of those other things?
It'll be a PC,
When you,
not be me.
Yeah. when you put your mouse over your face, does a little tiny blue box appear in the upper corner with dots? Nope.
No.
Okay. Okay, let's go a different direction. Who has, well, actually, let's get you to pin. Is the screen big enough where you can watch the person's face really carefully without pinning?
I think I have a choice of speaker view, gallery view, or full screen at the moment. I went ahead and did just full screen.
Okay, but if you hover your mouse just over the little person's box, like over Brianna's box that she's in, you don't get blue dots somewhere, or you don't get dots anywhere, just over her.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
There, if you click on those three dots, whoever that person is, once we have the volunteer, you'll have one of those options will be pin.
Yeah, it says chat or pin.
Perfect. That's exactly what you need. Okay, that's how you pin a person. And then you can pin anybody you want to. Like if you're worried that you have something in your teeth, you can pin yourself. You'll appear big. You can see if you have something in your teeth and you can remove the pin.
Yeah, but everybody else watch me pin my teeth.
No. Well, yes, they will, but you'll be tiny on some Zooms. But yes, they will. However, that's how that
I mean,
works.
it's bad enough with this, right?
All right.
Beautiful.
So,
Kathy.
who here, and I'll just catch up PF and K real quick. Hey, PF and K, we're going to do a cool thing. All I want you to do is be able to pin the person that is volunteering so that you can watch their reactions, and then I'll catch you up the rest of the way. So do you know how to pin a person so they're big? Perfect. And K, when you come on, if you do come on or stay dark, just watch. We'll do that because I want to get going. Okay, who here would like to volunteer? And I'm just going to walk you through this. The person that volunteers needs to have some, Liz. Okay, so Liz, you're going to have some issue or thing going on in your life that you either have conflict over, or you don't have resolution, or you just don't have resolution. You're trying to figure it out, and you would like some clarity, or perhaps a course of action, or some resolution, or some acceptance. But there's something that you have going on that you want to get some sort of clarity around. Do you have that situation in your head?
Oh, I could probably think of several. Yes.
Okay, everybody pin Liz really quickly because I want you to be able to watch her face. Okay, Liz, just take a second, breathe, clear out everything else, and I want you to focus and think on just that issue. And when you have it, I want you to open your eyes. I don't want you to answer anything. I want this to be completely silent. Perfect. What's wrong? What caused this problem? How have you failed to resolve this? How can you overcome the solution to your problem? What would you like to change? When will you stop it from being a limitation? How many ways do you know you have solved this? I know you are changing and seeing things differently. You guys can remove the pins. Okay, Liz, you don't have to discuss it if you don't want to. For us, you were hard cookie in the beginning. It was very hard for me to be able to tell. Can you guys tell, especially later on, when she had the question, when she had it? Could you guys tell what that looked like?
She closed her eyes.
Her eyes moved.
Yeah, there was a lot of eye movement going on. A lot. In the beginning, it was very still. And I really kind of just went off with the blinking, and I could have got it wrong, Liz. I wasn't sure if I was hitting it at the right spot or not. And I was just, because I was looking so hard for the tells, and the first 3 or 4 questions, I could not see them, or I didn't see what they were yet.
I saw a little bit of mouth movement.
Yeah, very slight, very slight. Okay. And did you guys see what direction Liz looked when she looked every time?
Yeah.
To the right.
Up, yep. Remember what we learned before, that up is visual?
Mhm.
That she's looking up visually. She's looking up for the answers to those questions, to possibly to see in your head, possibly to see the pictures of what's going on. Okay. You feeling okay, Liz?
Mhm.
All right. Any feedback, girl? And you don't have to share if you don't want to.
This was kind of powerful. Also, I kept looking for my future vision. So do you want me to share what my,
It's up to you, sweetie. It's not up to us.
Okay.
It's gonna be up to you.
so this tug of war I have constantly, and I've continued to have, is my desire and my goal to be full on entrepreneur in real estate, get this corporate drama out of my life. And for a long time, I've set that goal as like, when I turn a certain age, I'm going to be able to do that. Kids will be launched, whole 9 yards. And now I'm kind of like, I don't want to wait till that spot. So I'm constantly trying to figure out in my current situation now when that can happen. And I'm feeling more so this year than any other that I need it to happen sooner, to be able to just get some own sanity in my own space, but just in, be in the space that I want to be in to serve. And a lot of that has come recently regarding the timing of when that's going to happen, or when I would like to see that happen, because of things going on in my corporate job that I just really don't even want to be having to deal with anymore. And my ability to do that without feeling a emotion of insecurity or scarcity on some level, and making the full-on launch out. Like, that is my biggest thing. Like, because I'm so used to a consistency in income area, particularly to provide resources for my family in this very high cost of living area. And it's been a struggle for, 20 some odd years. And, I think back at the daycare bill when we first got here, and I was like, I'm in the wrong profession. I need it was ridiculous. I mean, all that stuff just comes up for me every time I get to this crossroads of, is this the year I'm going to launch completely into full-time and just rip off the Band-Aid and do it? but it's that insecurity and that scarcity feeling that comes into play every time. That when you asked about the limiting beliefs question, I literally said to myself, at first I said today, and then I'm like, no. And then I stopped. I'm like, I don't know what it was about. And I'm like, oh, maybe not today. That whole gerbil emotional wheel came up for me with, oh, maybe not today is the day I'm going to make the change or disregard this limiting belief. I have to give it a little more time.
I'm glad you're uncomfortable because that means you're changing.
Yes, I know that intellectually, which is why I kept, what's my head saying? I'm having a problem wearing it. Like I'm having to continue to work through the growth discomfort is where I'm kind of like juggling, because I always want to go back to my safe place, which puts me in an unhappy place. And then I'm like, nope, today we're going towards growth and we're going to do it. And some days that feels really good. And some days I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for this yet.
So it reminds me, thank you for that, by the way. Thank you for being our guinea pig and thank you for doing that. Exactly. And thank you for being brave and doing all that. And then thank you for sharing also what it is that you're working through and struggling through. I was on the phone yesterday with a girl. It was really good. And it was all about, it touched on a lot of things. It touched on NLP, it touched on imposter syndrome, it touched on all those things. And imposter syndrome is an interesting thing, which that's a bit of one of the things that is going on. And I feel like one of the things that's going on in there a little bit. And maybe I'm wrong. I thought that I did not have it. This is where I'm going with it. And so I don't want to project onto you. I thought I didn't have it. I thought I don't have that. I'm good with stuff. No, I have it. I totally have it. And someone told me, well, actually 3 people have told me very recently that everybody has it to some level, some degree, someplace. I was like, shut up. And then I was talking with my daughter last night and I was like, well, maybe the people that have it are the people that are constantly growing and changing and pushing and going into new arenas. And then as I was speaking and the words were coming out of my mouth, I instantly played, because then it goes, well, is that true? Test the hypothesis. I know 2 people that are not growing and changing. One of them is just the highest S's of S's, and she's old. It's my mother-in-law. She's not going to change. She's 74. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. And she never has in her life either. Massive insecurity, imposter syndrome, issues, value issues, massive. And then my father-in-law, her ex, who is a narcissistic gargantuan man baby, and massive value and worth, and neither one changes. And I'm like, okay, so that's not it either. Maybe we just all have it. And then when I was talking with my friend, she said this, because you mentioned the insecurity and all those things. And I said, I'm tired of trying to find the reason of stuff sometimes. I just get tired of trying to dig, because I'm always dig. What's the reason? What's the reason? And then sometimes I'm like, how do you know when you just do it anyway, in spite of the fear and the stuff? And how do you know when it's time to dig deeper and figure out what the hell's going on up in here? And she said, maybe instead of a reason, you have acceptance. Oh, I know. And it didn't give me answers or anything. It just made me really think, because I personally, for me personally, I want to move into public speaking more. And it's been this thing of, well, what if I write it and nobody gives a shit? What if nobody pays? What if nobody wants to do it? What if nobody cares? What if they hate it? What? I'm like, oh, and it just crippled me. Do you guys know how stupid this is? I public speak all the flipping time. I do small groups. I haven't done huge groups, but I've done like 300 before. And once I'm in front of a microphone, in like a minute, I'm calm and there's a flow. You know what I mean? And then it's all good. But this doesn't go away. You know what I mean? And it feels, actually, it's not that so much. It feels clunky for the first minute or two. It just feels clunky. And then it just smooths out and it just goes. And the feedback I always get is that I'm really good. And I always get that feedback. And yet the thought of doing it for some reason put a 3-week, maybe 4-week halt on me, my life, and what I was doing. I was like, dirty word, and I finally I had to sit down and I had to process through, and I have my little sticky now. And I read my little sticky of my truth that I came up with before I do it, which is I am smart, I am competent, I am good, I am skilled, I honor my words with my action, and I kick fear's ass. And that just feels really good and honest and true to me. And then I move forward with doing whatever the hard thing is that I don't want to do, or whatever it is that's scaring me or freaking me out.
And, oh, sorry.
No, go.
I'll just say the weird thing for me is I think I have it in the opposite space, meaning I feel like I have this imposter syndrome now in the legal space that I'm in because I just don't really want to be there. So I'm just like going through the motions, doing all the things, showing up as I think I should be because I just want it over. Like I just want whatever the interaction or exchange needs to end. And I'm feeling like the insecurity comes in from being for more the income piece of it, like not knowing what that looks like on the other side. And at the end of the day, when I get out of the legal position and I'm looking at, you know, what I want to be doing or what I need to be doing in the real estate space, I always feel like better use of my time would have been spent. I don't feel insecure necessarily of what I'm offering in that space, more so that I didn't attend to it or was attentive to it as much as I wanted to be in that space. And I kick myself in the butt every day about that. It's like there were people I wasn't able to serve or help today because I let this over here kidnap my time, and I'm just showing up here just so I can take it off the list and be done with it. And that's why I feel more the imposter syndrome, even having, you know, decades of experience in this field. That doesn't even matter. I'm just like, it's just a value of where I'm putting my time.
Mhm.
That is really kind of, I think, in the mix of all this, it's like not highest and best use of my time or the way I want to be using my time right now, but yet uncomfortable with what the financial landscape looks like on the other side to make sure that I can do it without too much of a hard footprint or negative footprint in our space, particularly because of where we live and things are just ridiculously expensive.
So when I lived in San Francisco, I was my last year being a team leader. Sorry. I knew I didn't want to be a team leader anymore. And I also knew that I was pretty much coasting on the dang job. Serious coasting. And it really bothered me because I always pour my all into everything and I was coasting.
Mhm.
And the irony was when I went to him and said, look, I'm coasting and I know it and I need to be out of here. And they're like, no, stay. You're the best team leader we ever had. And I'm coasting. And I guess looking back at it, because that was in 2018. So I've got some good perspective now, you know, 4 years later, looking back at that in that last year. So 5 years ago, if you look at the beginning of that conversation, I was coasting because I'd outgrown the job. And I didn't know it. And I don't know if that's where you are. But if you're the best that they've ever had, and you're good at what you do, and you're coasting, you've just outgrown the job. You just have and what happened with me is my body physically, I really do believe, because I had the emergency surgery. I had to take, 5.5 weeks off of work, blah, blah, blah. Had to leave, had to like not supposedly do anything. And I believe my body just finally said, yeah, you won't pay attention. So I'm gonna make you pay attention. And that's what I believe happened, because I would not give up the golden handcuffs. It's the highest paid team leader in the Bay Area. I know there's a golden handcuffs. I wouldn't give them up, but I wouldn't give them up out of fear.
Yeah.
And my body was doing everything it could, trying to get me to wake the blank up.
That's exactly where I think I am. And I told you at the beginning of the call, like my body's been screaming out to me this week. It's not really, and it's not just been this week. It's been for a while. And every time I'm like, I'm just going to power through and get this done because I need to get this done. My body's like, okay, well, now you're going to be down and out for 3 days, up in the bed, propped up with your laptop on your chair, on your lap, because you're not listening to me. And that's exactly what's been, my physical health. And this is the second time in this space in the legal field that I've had this sort of visceral physical reaction in my body, which is like telling to me, which is that I need to get out of this space. One, I've done this, been there, done this before, and I'm exhausted with it all. But two, it's the second time and I'm still kind of crawling out of the first experience to better health that my body has responded with, nope, we're not doing this again, and has literally put me down and out for the count for days.
Yep.
Or showing up in my body telling
Yep.
me, you need to make a change here. And I just don't know when that's going to be, when I feel comfortable with that being. That's the struggle.
I know you're changing and seeing things differently.
Yeah.
I know you are. I know
Mhm.
you are. I hear you and understand you also. It's the same reason why yesterday when I got sick twice and vomited twice. Well, yeah, I just shut everything down and went to bed and crashed. And
Mhm.
I was like, nope, body. And I, like I said, that's not me. I don't never do that. So I was like, no, your body, something's wrong. Pay attention or get real sick. And
Mm.
I feel fine today. I took my temperature, I took COVID test. I mean, but my body was like done yesterday. But I know you're changing and saying things differently.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, when I first ran across this, I was blown away by it. I purposely watched the person and then I put it away and I didn't look at it again for weeks. And then I finally, because I wanted to make sure I forgot it all. And then I had my husband do it to me. That is the beginning of my I would kick fear's ass thing of walking through and getting some clarity around public speaking. The thing of it is, I think I was afraid of, what if I put me in a stadium of, 50,000 people? And then I was like, are you dumb as a rock? That is not happening tomorrow. That's a build, you fool. And then once I realized that's what that was, and it was like, well, can you talk in front of 300 people? You already have before. Yeah. Well, then can you probably do 1,000? It's not much difference, harder to see the back of the room. Well, there's no way it's going to put you in front of, 10,000 people even, and it's probably not going to be putting you in front of 1,000 people tomorrow. So can you do the next steps? Do you love to speak in front of people? Yes. Yes, I do. All right, then just take the steps. It'll build. You'll be fine. You have within you, Liz, Kathy, Kay, PF, Bree, you have within you the resources and answers that you need for where you are right now. You absolutely do. Everything in nature has within it everything it needs to survive, including babies. Because if you've never been around a baby screaming its bloody fool head off, which makes grown women lactate, for God's sakes, you will do anything to take care of that kid, to shut that kid up. I don't care what it is. Everybody in nature has everything they need to survive. Babies know how to ask for help, which is one of the most powerful things that you can possibly do. And even if that's the only thing that they have is how to scream bloody murder for help, they have it. They have it. You have the answers too. You really, really, really do. And I know you're changing and seeing things differently. I know you are. So, all right, you guys, that's my Friday. I got to get ready for Gary's podcast. So whatever that looks like that I'm doing in an hour, but yay. I love and appreciate you guys. The thing that you guys do more than anything else that is such a wonderful thing is that you guys have curated and created space. And within that space, it is psychologically, emotionally, mentally, physically also safe. And so we can do some great work here. And that's a very cool thing. That is a very cool thing. It is a wonderful and sometimes unique thing in this world. But that's what you guys do. You have curated space and shown up because that's who you are. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you so
very
much.
Y'all are very
Good.
welcome. Have a good weekend, y'all. Bye-bye.
You
All right,
too. Have
bye-bye.
a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.